Bam, we're live. I woke up this morning, yesterday I did a podcast giving a little feedback on Will Morad's performance at the on a podcast. And one of the comments in the YouTube section said, skip the first 11 minutes, it's all bullshit. And that made me sad. That made me sad, guys, because that was the whole joke about the podcast. It was to show in context how to promote an event, because my feedback was I didn't think he did a very good job promoting his event. And it was just feedback on how he should promote it. And it was there was supposed to be some, I don't know, what's the word, literary term, double entendre there. You missed the point. That made me sad. You didn't get my point. It opens with me promoting how an event should be promoted. The Crash Crucible, October 17, 18, and 19, Spartansburg, South Carolina. I finally figured it out. Taylor's in North Carolina. J.R. Howell's in South Carolina. Bryson and Taylor are in North Carolina. Damn, I have so much trouble with names. Good morning. Good morning, Jody Lynn. Ah, all hail the Jesus shirt. Yeah. Someone asked me the other day if I was a believer. I didn't even know how to answer that. Yeah, I believe in some shit, I guess. It's not Spartansburg. Oh, what is it? I still don't have it right. It's Spartanburg. Oh, well. What's an extra S? Home of BMW manufacturing. Oh, okay. I wonder if JR has any of those. I wonder if JR has any of those workers in his gym. Greg Glassman coming on today. Oh, there he is. In the forest.
How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good.
Back in Idaho, the sounds of Idaho compared to the pure silence of Washington.
Yeah, there's a Stancraft barge just went by with a crane on it, and I'm glad we missed that.
A Stancraft barge? Like they made the barge?
Yeah, the Marine Division.
Oh shit! What else? They do something else besides make the boats? What else do they do?
They built my pier, and they built that jet center we fly in and out of.
Oh shit!
You know that facility?
Yeah, that place is cool.
That place is cool.
Hey, do you see architectural connections between all of those? Like when you go to the jet facility, you're like, "Yep, there's the boat. There's the signature of the boat."
The pride in the boat. They make the best boats on the lake, maybe on many lakes, and their piers are distinctively nice.
When
I saw Rob's pier, I went to breakfast with him. I told him I wanted a pier like his, and that's when he announced to me he was going into the pier business. And I told him, well, shit, put me on the list. That created a bit of a buzz.
The boats it's mahogany, right?
Yeah.
And so that's I guess what I'm saying. Do you see a nod to that? Like on the, I'm trying. I remember.
Well, I think it doesn't have that 1930s kind of vibe.
No, okay. I thought I remember at the FBO there that they had a bunch of mahogany slats, kind of as like.
Yeah, they have, and they had one of the boats out too, just kind of in the atrium.
Yeah.
And they got the Toto toilets and a great snack bar, and they're going all out.
You love
the Signature Atlantic one of the big FBOs.
You loving the Stancraft?
Yeah, every time I go out on it.
Yeah. Does it have the joystick and it has all the comforts of like the axle part? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's easy. It's not like
no, it's easy to operate.
Like you remember the racing carbon fiber, I was going to call it a canoe. I don't know what you call it.
The rowboats.
Yeah, rowboats. Those were absolutely insane, but there was a bit of a learning curve on them. It's not like that with the Standcraft. It's not like a crazy.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's a learning curve to operating a boat, and the joystick makes it all a lot easier.
But I mean, does the Standcraft just feel like another boat, or is there something like distinct about it where you're like, oh shit, this is gonna be a whole new thing because it's so heavy and big?
It's really heavy, and that's apparent. But it's comfortable. No, it's a joy. It's a joy to operate. It's got a Rolls Royce kind of oversized, bigger than life vibe, you know?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it looks like a Bond boat from an old Bond movie.
It very much is that kind of thing.
Yeah. Greg is so bougie. No, I don't know. I don't think he's bougie.
Yeah.
His kids still do chalk drawings on the driveway. Leave skateboards out.
I told you that the kids stayed with grandma, and someone had drawn a peace sign, and somehow Riley turned it into that. Expertly done, I guess. And then Robbie drew someone got their penis cut off and was spraying blood everywhere.
Oh shit!
And grandma, Catholic grandma, was pretty shook up, you know, in the call, a little distraught.
Is this I'm assuming this is Grandma Katie?
No, it's Grandma Rita.
Oh, that's right.
And I was like, this is what they do if you give them crayons.
Yeah.
You know, they're good kids until they get crayons.
I like it. I approve.
It's funny. It's always,
I like drawing dirty pictures as a kid.
It's always an edge.
Yeah.
Hey, I may have said on the show before, but I'll just repeat myself anyways because I like the story myself. But the kids drew our French raid friend pictures of him at work after spending a week with us, and they got the picture of the French embassy on fire and him on the roof shooting guys appropriately dressed, both the shooters and the shootees, those being shot. Very, very colorful, very graphic. And they've learned they draw the bullets in the air. There's ones that have delivered and done their carnage, and there's body parts everywhere, but there's bullets still coming. You know?
Yeah.
You can see the one that went through, the one that's just hitting, the one that's gonna hit, the one just coming out of the gun.
I want to see that. I want to see a picture of that. If you have a picture of that, send me that.
You know what this fucking guy did? He cried. 14 years of I mean, he has these t-shirts I can't even wear in public. And it's the graphic is got this let's make a deal, door number 1, 2, or 3. But there's no car on the other side of the door, and it's him and his friends in kit. It's amazing.
You have a photo of it?
I'll show you. It's not for public consumption. I wouldn't wear that shirt in public in a million fucking years.
Greg, are you a fan of Brigham Bueller? The guy just did Rogan again, and he's after big pharma and processed food companies. A clip of that. I don't know.
That name sounds familiar, but I mean, if that's a good intro right there.
Yeah.
Sounds. Oh, you know what? I think this guy got a Mohammed Mandani kind of bearded look, slender guy, dark haired.
Let me see.
Someone he may be sitting in my
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast.
This guy.
I mean, you would think.
No. Hey,
Yes.
I Lustig locked some kids and made a metabolic ward out of a Best Western hotel.
Just new?
No, it was
okay.
But he talked about it when he came to talk to us at CrossFit. Yeah, that might be us. They locked some pudgy little kids in a metabolic ward made of a hotel. And basically TV's on, room search for food, and everyone goes in and out as part of the team, and no one can come in and bring Johnny shit. And they denied him fructose, but they didn't deny the other things that we assume, think are bad. And he wasn't expecting the results he got, but the results he got is that when fructose was out of the picture, it really didn't matter how much Pringled like shit you ate, you still got crazy improvements in dozens of metrics that he thought were looked like components to metabolic derangement. And it was an influence on me throwing some starch, little fruit, no sugar, changing the order of that from some fruit, little starch. He elevated starch above fruit for me with that. And it was a little somewhat, mild moment of anguish for him. Because I think no one wants to say that, hey, man, we let the kid have all the Pringles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we still got crazy good numbers. What? Yeah, you just took the fructose out and let him eat his usual shit. If it had fructose, we denied it. And they in short order got remarkable turnarounds. And so we got a bad guy. And, you want to fall down a rabbit hole. Look at the difference between refined and processed. And I worry that this process might also apply to my from scratch bolognese. It's a fucker of a process, and it doesn't taste like anything like what you want till the second day. I've done things in biology with enormous process that was pure as can be. And I also understand refinement and distillation, and I don't know. It's like,
what's bolognese?
Spaghetti sauce, meat sauce.
Oh, okay.
An Italian meat sauce to throw over pasta if you want.
Hey, you need to turn your text on.
My texts, are they dinging?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, that's funny. Someone the other day in the comments said, "Can we get Greg to turn off his text messages?" It doesn't bother me at all. I like background
It
noise.
just means your food's ready at the restaurant.
Yeah. Ding. I don't even know how to turn that off. Do you know how to turn that off?
I just quit it.
Oh.
Would I do it? I never turn messages off. Do you?
No. You just put Command Q on iMessage.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where? Oh, sorry. Do you want to say anything more about El Sucra?
I'm just. I think we know what the culprit is.
Yeah.
And I think the carnage from that single side of things is so enormous that we don't have clear understanding of the nature of other problems. For instance, thinking you're going to get a handle on autoimmune disease with chronically elevated blood sugar, it's just not going to happen. Hi. Oh, she's waving at boats.
Is that a baby or a cat?
It's my baby.
Did you see this? I mean, I know this is no news to you, but did you see this news clipping from 1931 I sent you? I sent it late yesterday. I know you introduced me to Otto Warburg, who won the Nobel Prize in 1931. He discovered that cancer cells feed on sugar, that tumors grow faster when blood sugar is high. He advised a low-carb, low-sugar diet as a cornerstone of cancer treatment. He proved that tumor cells rely on glucose fermentation, even if in the presence of oxygen, now called the Warburg effect. And then what happened, Greg? How come?
The sugar lobby, the Sugar Foundation, got its hands on two researchers that were about to execute on writing up sugar and heart disease, and they were paid $4,000 each, which is equivalent to $50,000 today, and I think this was in '64.
Okay.
And Dolores Kearns and others. I might be conflating a bunch of things here, but the good guys got their hands on the actual typed and signed offers and acceptance, and so the deal's a fact. In fact, they sat in an archive at Harvard. So these guys took $4,000 each, and their paper came out, and sugar was
A good guy.
fat was the cause of heart disease.
30 years after Warburg won the Nobel Prize for saying,
Yeah.
but no one ever refuted what he said, right? No one's ever like, nope, Otto Warburg was batshit crazy. They just took the whole stuff. They took everything in another direction.
Yeah.
Could you say fat's a symptom?
The guys like Warburg and Ufi Ravenskov would be another one.
Mm-hmm.
The way they're dealt with is that you ignore them. They just get ignored, like Seyfried does.
Would you say fat's just a symptom of eating too much sugar? And so once again, they went after the symptom instead of the root cause, which is sugar? Is that a fair assessment?
Like it was a logic by a rhymed couplet or something?
Yeah, just like
primitive.
The homeless situation is the best example. The fact that they keep calling them homeless people, and that's really just the symptom of the cause. The cause is drug addicts, and their vocation is stealing, crime. And so if you build them homes, the problem doesn't go away.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like that. When they point at fat's just a symptom of eating too much sugar. And so they said it was fat, but you're just pointing at the symptom. It's like saying coughing is the problem with having a cold.
Yeah. Gerald Reaven said that there's a clinical post hoc ergo propter hoc, that the order of the symptoms suggests cause, but some of them just are delayed, that the underlying cause of the derangement is hyperinsulinism, and that the obesity, hypertension, it was upper body obesity, hypertension, hypertriglyceridemia, and glucose intolerance, the order at which they became clinically noted wasn't suggestive of order. In other words, before those other numbers went bad, the doctor would notice a weight gain. And so there was an assumptive role in the obesity of being causal. And he's not so fast. It's not really that way. That the underlying mechanism common to all these things causally is hyperinsulinism.
And it's as batshit crazy. I used to have this great analogy. I can't remember. I'm not going to do it justice, but it's like blaming the cast for the broken arm. It's like, nope, that doesn't work.
That's on the vasorum and the arteries that get replaced in a venous graft bypass surgery. So you take a vein out of your leg and use it to replace a coronary artery. And people started looking at these arteries that were being thrown out, encrusted with plaques and deposits, calculi and shit. And they noticed that from the backside, the vasorum were gone, which meant that the artery was having a near-death experience, and it didn't take but a handful of necropsy, looking at hearts from other causes of death, and it became evident that the vasorum dies ahead of the plaque forming, which suggests that the plaque is a protective mechanism to keep, because this only happens at these high pressure nodes, and so it's very likely, and it's wonderfully plausible that the plaque is to protect the artery from blowing out, which does happen and is a disastrous thing. You think plaque's bad, an 1.5 inch tear in your fucking aorta is worse. So is it the body's mechanism for protecting the damaged structure? Some of my smarter friends that worry about this kind of shit suspect that's what's going on. That's the theory that seems most plausible to them. And I think still the drawings that we had Lon Kilgore, I was trying to remember his name yesterday while someone was talking to me, but the drawings that we had Lon Kilgore do on the vasorum, Lon's told me others have identified him and said that the best drawings ever done. Like
and these are the vasovasorum. They feed the wall of the artery. They're the little
from the backside, and they're microcapillaries. They're smaller than capillaries even, which often will admit one red blood cell at a time.
Damn.
It's a critical food, but feed. But look at Kilgore's drawings. Let's give the doc credit here.
I wonder if I can find that.
Just put Lon Kilgore, CrossFit, vasovasorum. That's one thing. He didn't write the article. He drew the pictures for me. And I was just dissatisfied with the descriptions that I were reading were much better than anything that people were drawing.
Oh, it took me to a, hold on. It took me to a, it took me to a whole list of his drawings. Let me see if I can get to.
I'm going to go right to it.
Getting all this lung anatomy. Was it part of a CrossFit anatomy project? You found it?
Yeah. I put vasovasorum, Lon Kilgore, CrossFit.
Oh, I did too. I didn't.
And it's CrossFit branded vasovasorum.
Okay, now can you send it?
Here, I'll just send you the.
I suck. Oh, now you have to turn your iMessage back on.
Yeah, fuck, Sevi.
But basically, they're the supply lines for a wall of arteries that feed
and they're conspicuous at high pressure nodes.
Because that requires a lot of feeding right there to keep that strong and tight. Yeah,
it's a beefy structure going around that corner, right?
Oh, okay. Here we go. Thank you.
Did that pull it up?
Yeah. Can't get I'm clicking on the link in Google. Oh, here we go.
But those section drawings, that's all very, very good.
And you had him draw these. I remember that.
Yeah. He's a medical illustrator of the first tier.
Okay. And that drawing that has the numbers 5 and 6, that's the artery, and 5 and 6 are the vasovasorum.
Yeah. At the CrossFit Health Conference, which was my distracting sideshow to keep me entertained at the games, I got to ask Uwe Ravenskov in a Zoom call in front of everyone if he thought that the etiology of cardiovascular disease involved the deterioration of vasovasorum and then plaque forming protectively at these high pressure nodes and blah, blah, blah. He was like, of course I do. I knew he did before I asked, but
he threw him an alley-oop.
There's on so many of these issues, like it was no surprise to me what Gauthier or Kendrick or Noakes or Zoe, anyone, their take on the COVID thing. They were identical. They're identical. Once you've seen public health for what it is, it won't fool you. You should see how my where I stopped reading games improved. Nutritionist, fuck you, I'm out. I don't want to read any story that starts with the word nutritionist unless they've all been round up and shot. They're the problem. And these idiots saying there's not enough nutritional education in medical school. Thank fucking God.
And explain that. Why is it that you don't?
They're the ones with the bad ideas.
Mm.
That's the problem. They're the problem. They got it exactly wrong, and not very smart. It's just gonna make me so popular.
Hey, going back to this, so these micro, I don't know what you call them, micro veins, micro arteries,
They're microcapillaries.
microcapillaries. So those things, the 5 and 6, you're saying only 1 or 2, those are only the width of 1 or 2 cells.
Capillaries can admit one blood cell at a time, and there's some leeway in that you can actually watch. You can put a goldfish in cotton swabs, water under leave some tail out and put it on a projection microscope, and you can actually watch red blood cells enter into the capillary and bunch up at the hole, and they'll get skinny so one can go through and then the other. And the cell membrane motility, their squishiness, allows them to keep on rapidly inserting. There goes one, there goes one, there goes one, there goes one, there goes one. With a decrease in cell membrane motility, they don't have that ability to conform to the space they're trying to occupy, and so they clot up and clog. And that would be the etiology of the mechanism. And so it would make really the heart suffering from much of the blood insufficiency. I don't know. It's another manifestation of a cell membrane motility issue, and we have that with insulin resistance and the insulin molecule trying to conform to the receptor site, where the membrane has lost motility and it doesn't conform easily. It won't bend shape to accommodate the insulin molecule. So you end up with these cells that have got insulin all around them trying to dock. And the cell's so inelastic, so non-plastic in its hardness, in its touch, right? That it interferes with that mechanism. This would be the same thing going on in the heart. Not a surprise. And I would expect to see complications with microvasculature everywhere. Penis, feet, brain, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to stop the flow of blood in areas that are dense with small vessel. I mean, they're built to optimally deliver oxygenated blood. No.
Yeah.
If you got an area just full of these little vessels.
So it brings, so that goes down and that feeds the arterial wall, one red blood cell at a time, bringing whatever the wall needs.
It does. I don't think there's a fixed rule or a law, but I have witnessed firsthand capillaries admitting one cell at a time, basically, where 2, 3, 4 would appear at the entrance, whatever the fucking name is for that, and then squeeze. It'd be like, you got fat guys that can't get through the doorway, but they could make themselves 4 inches, or like a cat going through. You've seen cats sneak through shit.
Yeah.
If they can get that little pyramid shaped head through, they can make all the rest come out through.
Like a mouse can go through a hole the size of your thumb. It can just squish through there.
I saw on Instagram and a cat came out of a mailbox slot.
And so basically what happens is the cells, when you eat sugar, the cells lose that motility. They can't make it to the wall. And in science, scientists and cardiologists have been looking at the issue coming from the inside, because that's where they see the plaque buildup, because when the wall doesn't get fed, it dies and a hole pops open. And so it tries to patch it from the inside.
Throws chunks or ruptures, or has it gives you a cardiac insufficiency that creates symptoms, pain.
And so they've been looking at the wall from the inside as the problem, when the problem is coming from the outside.
Yeah, at the point of once you've gone the dietary fat must be the cholesterol. Let's lower the cholesterol. It's pretty hard to ever get back on track again.
Say that again. And why is that? Why is it hard to get on track? Get on track with what?
You're looking at other mechanisms. What about sugar? This is why I say that Seyfried's work has to be ignored, because you think, what are the costs? Okay, it's a fucking metabolic disease, right? I'll give it to you. Cancer's a metabolic disease. 7 out of 10 smart people will, within a matter of hours, like, hey, what about sugar and cancer? It's at the point of it being a metabolic disease. All those that know of mitochondria and reactive oxidative species are gonna look at sugar, and you have to explain then. And it's a funny thing, really, how it is that the derangement that sugars cause is of an entirely that we know is entirely different than the derangement we see in cancer.
Have you ever met a cardiologist and then proposed this theory to him, the vasorum theory, the fact that the
Yeah, I know.
arteries-
Yeah. Yep,
And do they laugh at you? What do they say? Because I said it to one cardiologist and he had no fucking idea what I was talking about. He thought it was completely preposterous. Like he had never heard the idea.
We've published the research, and I mean, it's a theory, right?
Right, but
what does it comport with? It comports with the shit we know that sugar's doing to cells.
But it would completely change your approach if you had someone come in.
And by the way, that's why we're here. What is it that's altering that the cell membrane motility and its glycation? The cell membrane, the protein in it has been its structure been permanently altered by sugar. It's been glycated. It's caramelized. It's I spent too much time looking at this, but I was like, it shouldn't even be said because you don't want to defend the organic chemistry of it. But if you want to liken it to something that's kind of a simple thinking, it's sugar in the gas tank. It's just we don't find where that's an advantage anywhere in the car system.
Even a little bit.
It's such a base level disruption. No, I'm not saying it's a super potent toxin, but its accumulated effects over time are abundantly clear. So much so clinically that I've never had the experience of like I cut someone's sugar and nothing really happened. They stayed obese. Then we removed the canola oil and oh my God, what a difference. I'm open to that. It might have made it even more interesting and maybe my art even more rare, refined had the result been that complicated. But the truth is you take someone's sugar away and their world changes for the better.
Right.
And the level of derangement happens at such a fundamental base level disruption that eventually nothing becomes too surprising. Hey, someone's got a column. Kevin Johnson sent me a thing yesterday, and I gotta just pull this up. I'm gonna send it to you.
How come after Warburg won the Nobel Prize for that, they didn't go down that lane? That was just all because of all the money that's in sugar. I think that was the whole reason. Yeah. The Sugar Foundation was advising Big Tobacco when Big Tobacco fell, got exposed. They were doing it first and best. Look at this thing. Is that a recent article?
Yeah. I don't know. I got it yesterday. It was recent to me, but I like that someone's got there's a climate and diet column.
Oh wow.
I was telling him, just think of the burden of, okay, you're the climate and diet guy. And I go, it's inevitable you're going to come up with some bullshit.
Global warming in the United States is amping up with the country's sweet tooth, a new study found. When the temperatures rise, Americans, especially those with less money and education, drink a lots more sugary beverages and a bit more frozen desserts. It amounts to more than 100 million pounds of added sugar consumed in a year compared to 15 years earlier. Wow. Dude, ice cream is not cheap. Climate change is shaping what you eat and how you eat, and that might have a bad effect on your health.
I bet, like, listen, we got bullshit climate science interfaces
Oh.
with bullshit nutritional science to create a new bullshit hybrid of science.
And of course, they invoke Lustig down here also.
Yeah.
Lustig said sugary drinks are marketed and priced in a way to attract the poor. Priced to attract the poor. In many disadvantaged communities, the water tastes funny because of chemicals in them. Wow.
It's him being an idiot. Priced to attract the poor. In other words, they don't ask more for the product than the people will pay.
Crazy.
Why do you think that is?
Greg, are you? Oh no, there was an interesting. What was this one I saw in here? There was a good comment here. Sturwood, where are all the CrossFit athletes changing their profile pictures to white squares for Irana Zoruska? That's a wild story as more and more details come out from it. It's a trip. Jeremy, hi. Hello. Hold on.
Gentlemen,
Oh,
good morning. Happy Wednesday.
Good morning,
Can you hear
Jeremy. Yep.
Jeremy.
Hey, how's it going, Greg?
Good, bud. I'm getting ready
Hey,
to
I
come
got a
out
question
to
for you. Yeah, I need to get out there, man. I need to get out there, especially it's about to start getting cold here in the Midwest. I need to make my way west. But hey, I had a question for you, Greg. Speaking of sugar, what do you recommend, or maybe it's something I just have to accept? But in a co-parenting situation where I'm very much, I try to do no sugar, but reality of having 3 young kids is it's hard to avoid entirely. But on my end, I'm trying to severely limit it. On mom's end, when they're with mom, it's unlimited amounts of sugar, and so much so to the point where they get understandably mad with me when I'm like, no, we're not having candy, no, we're not having ice cream, we're not doing these things. How do you, is that something you just accept as a parent in a co-parenting situation, or is there a way to go about that?
Yeah, maybe so, but I think even co-parenting suggests one at a time somehow to me. But you know what I mean? Like, it's like you got weekends and she's got weekdays, like split custody kind of. I don't know why, but even with everyone there, any rule that only one parent will enforce or support turns the person with the rule into the asshole and the other one the good guy. And it's tough. So if your co-parent is allowing sugar and you won't, you just become the dick. I think
I lost part of that.
He's basically saying that if
you hear me on this, you know it, you live it, right?
He got disconnected for a second. He said basically that when you have 2 parents and they're not agreeing on how to deal with the kids,
it's
one of the parents is a dick.
One parent pushing the restriction and enforcement, that parent will be seen by the kids as a complete asshole, and the other parent the good guy, and you'll just have it hidden from you.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on.
It's
like,
fucked. It's fucked. It's more than a sugar.
We have an awesome. Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, we have an awesome relationship, my kids and I. But when it comes to things like that,
listen,
discipline, lack of, no sugar.
If you don't want them cussing and mom doesn't care, they'll turn to mom and go, "Fuck, it's dad. Watch your fucking language. Here he comes. Hey, dad." I mean, that's how it's going to be.
Yeah,
and,
that's what I'm starting to accept.
And you don't want that, And so what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have easy answer there.
Jeremy, I get these cans of tuna from the internet. I'll put a link. I'll send you a link. But like yesterday, we came home from somewhere, I can't remember, and I see Avi go straight to the fridge to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I just say to him, hey, dude, eat a can of tuna, and then you can have as much peanut butter and jelly as you can. And when he pulls out the can of tuna, I pull out a jar of pickles, and I sit there with him, and I chat him up. And then after he eats the can of tuna and eats the pickle, he has no fucking desire. It's interesting for the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. He just runs out of the room. I never bring it up again, you know? And the same thing at night when they want to do something stupid, like I'll really quickly grab an apple and chop it up, or carrots and chop it up and put it in front of them. And it's interesting. It usually, I'd say like 90% of the time it works. I don't even like get into I try not to argue with them, but I also try never to say no. Just like I'm like, hey, if we're going somewhere, they say no, I'm like, okay, you don't have to go. And 2 minutes later, they're in the car. I don't know if it's just my kids who work like that, but if I don't fight back, I'm like, okay, do what you want to do. Man, 99% of the time, they realize like, oh shit, you know what I mean? I let them make the decision. So,
yeah, I love that, because I fall back on that myself too. Especially, I was just talking to another dad about, hey man, you don't have to react to everything your kids say, want. You know, we're going through the grocery store to get, you know, grocery shop, and hey, I want that. Hey, I want that. Or we're going through Target, and they want everything, and half the time I'm not saying no. I just don't say anything. You know, I'm just like,
yeah,
you know, they don't. I don't need to be like no, and you know, yell at them or whatever. I guess what I'm banking on, hopefully, for the future, as my kids grow up, they're 13, 11, and 8, is that they'll see, and I talked to a lot of friends, a lot of guys who have been through divorce when they were a kid, and they said eventually you get to an age where, you know, you understand where whatever parent, in my case, dad, you know, you understand where dad was coming from. Dad wasn't trying to be a dick. Dad wasn't trying to take our fun away. He was actually trying to make it better in every possible way. So I'm, you know, right now I feel like, yeah, you're in the thick of it. You know, you don't have any control over the kids when they are with mom, but there'll be a day where that'll change. They'll grow up. They'll see what's up. But yeah, I figured I'd ask. You guys any shared experience on that?
Sugar's powerful, man. It's no different than like you go in college when you go away to class and you come back and your roommates are in your room smoking your bag of weed you thought you hid in your underwear drawer, and they look at you and they don't even flinch. They don't even care that they were caught. You know what I mean? It's like they want that.
Oh, for sure, man.
They want that shit. Every time I come home, I look at them like, did anyone steal candy? Like 2 of the 3 boys raised their hand. Yeah, we ate some Pez or whatever, like just ridiculous, stupid candy we have in a drawer somewhere. It's
yeah, you can absolutely tell the difference between a child that regularly has sugar versus a child that doesn't. It's very, very noticeable. I go to kids' field trips with them at their school. I take them to events, and you could tell the kid is just smashing a Jolly Rancher and how they act, and they're just obnoxious over more than normal kid behavior versus like my kids where they haven't had the sugar. Hey, drink this water. Hey, you know, eat this wholesome food, and they're pretty chill besides the normal kid antics. It's like you get yourself. I got myself in this situation where mom is hell bent on doing whatever the fuck she wants to do, and I just have to kind of deal with the fallout. But like I said, I'm just banking on the fact that someday they grow up, they see what's up, they grow out of it, and mom's left with her, you know, her dick in her hand.
all right. Well, good luck.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of the show.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Good morning, Maris. My mom gets mad at my brother's wife for not letting their kids have sugar. It makes no sense. Yeah, the grandparents can be interesting. You know, that kind of goes away though. They were more like that with my first child. They were not like with my second and third child. By the end, they got it. And I eventually acquiesced too. I was like, okay, the grandparents can be those people. I can only control what I control.
Snazzy Michaela told her kids that it's the nannies and the chef that there was a minimum daily requirement for sugar. It's essential.
Oh man.
So we had to have the discussion as to the importance of giving consideration to your sources in maybe not so delicate terms.
Have you seen this? Have Have you seen what's happening with Serena Williams?
She's doing those Ozempic ads.
Yeah, it's pretty. Let me pull this up. Andrew Hiller put together quite an interesting montage, and now there's ones coming out with Lizzo also. These were body positivity people, and now they're so excited about getting skinny. Let's see if I can.
Understood that this is me. I love who I am.
Is this true?
I love how I look.
Is this true?
And my body, it's creating all these opportunities for me, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Is
I
this
want to
true?
come away with the fact that it's okay to be comfortable in your body.
Yes, I'm on road.
First of all, I'm not a size 2, and it's okay to look good, to feel good, and I'm strong, and I feel like it's okay to look strong and to be sexy and to be a woman and to be unbreakable and to be all those things. I really want to have that influence for people out there that, you know, that has my body type and just be like, you know what, I look good too. I want to feel good.
They say GLP-1s for weight loss is a shortcut. It's not. It's science. After kids, it's the medicine my body needed. GLP-1s helped me lose 31 pounds.
Women need to be celebrated and they need to embrace what you look like, and not from the outside, but from the inside.
One app to hit my goals. This is healthcare.
So every time I step out there in that swimsuit, I'm really feeling myself from the inside. I'm feeling my inner beauty, and it's going and it's showing out in my poses and in my and everything. So everything that I'm feeling is coming from the inside, and I think that confidence is something that I would love for everyone to have.
This is Row. I'm Serena Williams, and I'm a real Row member.
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What
It-
do you want?
As I got older,
And there's a similar one with Lizzo out there. All of a sudden, you know who Lizzo is, the super obese rapper or singer or something. Yeah. She's lost like 100 pounds now on Ozempic, and she's so excited about showing off her new body. But before it was like body positivity, it's wild. Hey, it was Serena and her sister Venus who were in the beginning of their career were they showed they had the commercials where they're like working at a McDonald's.
God, that sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild. She also throws in there, it's interesting, she throws in there it's what her body needed as a woman who had a baby.
Yeah.
Like tying it to that too.
Well, sure. The pregnancy created an Ozempic deficiency.
Right.
Makes sense to me.
I heard something yesterday that I hadn't heard before about it, that once you get on it, you have to stay on it your whole life. I had never heard that.
Wouldn't there be like you can't listen or watch or follow everything. And so like I'd either need a tennis lesson or there'd have to be something exceptional about the tennis player for me to even want to hear anything she had to say. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I have 1,000 unanswered questions about tennis, listen to what she's got to say. Or
the media regards her as like the greatest female athlete of all time, just because of all of her wins. Like anytime you hear anything about her, regardless of her sport, it's like, hey, she's the most accomplished, successful female athlete in any discipline of all time. You know what I mean? That's the story around her. I don't know how much shit she won, but she won some like ridiculous amount of championship matches or something. And so even if you're not a tennis fan, you know what I mean? She transcended that sport, wouldn't you say?
yeah, that could be.
Like more people know her more people know her name than are people who've ever watched tennis. I'm guessing the truth is like that's true about like Mike Tyson and
But
Michael Jordan.
If I had to attend a talk given by LeBron James, I can't tell you the anguish it would present.
Right.
Moving towards it and sitting through.
And then it comes out that her husband sits on the board of this company also.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, do you remember in Cause Unknown, the first page or two where Dowd is explaining the relationship of the major news conglomerates, you know, the AP and UPI and all that, and their fact checking.
Yes.
That all of that incestuousness.
Yes. Yeah.
That all should be, you know, that if the Maha movement wanted a blueprint for action, it should be along those lines.
Explain that more. Basically, showing the network of just the relationships. This guy sits on the board of the CDC. This guy sits on the board
guys
of the
running fact check for AP have come from Pharma.
Right. I feel like I see
relationships. There's a lot of that.
I feel like I see.
They know where to put their people. Remember how weird it was when we were at the University of San Francisco, and the American Beverage Association had negotiated pouring rights for Coke and Pepsi product on the campus, and the deal involved the naming of chairs of undisclosed departments.
Yeah.
You get to pick the chair and to set up a lab.
There was a scandal a while back. I remember the government of Turkey had offered UCLA to start a Turkish department there, and they were going to give them like $30 million. But one of the things that they had to do is promise that the Armenian genocide was never taught as fact on campus.
Yeah, duh.
And recently I saw this thing of all the people who used to work at the FDA who now work like at Merck or Pfizer or Moderna. It was wild. They were just showing that, hey, it's just people ping-ponging back and forth between these two entities. Does Greg think endurance training on LCHF, do you know what that is?
Low carb, high fat?
Oh, okay. Thank you. Does Greg think endurance training on low carb, high fat is possible, not short runs, marathon length and plus?
Aren't there ultra marathoners that are doing this?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
I feel like
Greg doesn't care is the problem.
It was interesting. I need to respond back to Pete Shaw, but
I wouldn't eat higher carb to enhance performance. Period. Hey, look, you're a games athlete and you're running through, 6,000 calories a day, 7,000 calories a day of carbohydrate. You're marching towards heart disease. The problem comes in the greater problem is burning the fuel, not storing it. It's the exposure. It's the glycation. There's many aspects of the accumulation of adipose tissue that are less odious at standard deviations off normal than are others. I've mentioned this before. All other things being normal, I would anyone should prefer to be 2 standard deviations overweight than to be 2 standard deviations hypertensive.
Wow. Better to be a little pudgy than leaner, and your diet consists of sucking on lollipops and drinking soda.
You come to me fat, but your blood pressure's okay. I've less alarmed than I would be if you came to me with super high blood pressure and skinny.
I had this guy on the other day. I was talking to you about it. He held the world record for the beer mile, 427, 4 beers and 427, right? And he said he's pivoting to doing triathlons. And when he was on my show, he talked about how he's training with one of the best triathlon guys who ever existed. And Pete Shaw reached out to me. I haven't responded to him yet. And he said, "Hey, can you put me in touch with this guy? What's his name? I forget. Jeremy Belmore. I forget his name. He was on last week, but And he said that the guy he's training with, who's like one of the world's best triathletes, has just recently come out saying he's a type 2 diabetic. And so Pete's like, hey, give me this guy Belmore's contact so I can talk to him about that, and we can work on figure out what he can eat so he doesn't end up in 20 years from now in the same position as this other guy.
There was a triathlete named Mike Pigg who came to me, and it was through Barry Sears, and he wanted me to look at his lipid profile, and I'm going, dude, you're gonna get fucking heart disease. And he said that his father was telling him the same thing, and his father was a cardiologist. And he's like, yeah, well, he's right.
Just from sucking down 700 grams of goose sticks.
Yeah, and related product, right? This isn't different than this Sami Inkinen story or the Tim Noakes story. Or without awareness, Mel Siff and Ed Burke.
The same thing. It's interesting. I had this other guy on who set the 50-mile world record, and he tried to break the 100-kilometer world record the other day. And he basically told me he was sucking down 500 calories of sugar an hour during the race, during the 6-hour race. So going back to that question, I'm gonna throw this out there. Would you say it's for sure possible, but you might not set world record times if you're not consuming gummy bears? Or you think the jury's still out on that?
If it turned out that ultra endurance events optimized at a sugar intake, I would recommend against optimizing your endurance capacity for your health. The Jim Fix, Ed Burke phenomenon is well understood. Ed Burke had written the Cyclist Nutrition Bible. I think he died of a heart attack on his bicycle at 50-something. Jim Fix dropped dead.
Who is the guy who's from South Africa, the greatest exercise science guy ever?
Mel Siff.
No, from South Africa, your buddy, Tim Noakes. Noakes. Yeah, Noakes had the same epiphany, right? He was a high carb guy, and then
he became a type 2 diabetic after writing the Lore of Running and eating as clean as he thought he could. Sami Inkinen, when he was diagnosed as being a diabetic, he had that same year was number one in his age group for a professional triathlon, professional Ironman. And he said he says, I couldn't possibly eat better or exercise anymore. I couldn't possibly eat better or exercise anymore. So it can't be my diet and exercise. Took him 60 days to figure out it was carbohydrate toxicity. That's what had happened. So what's he do? He loads a boat up with paleo shit and sets a world record rowing from San Francisco to Honolulu. He's got it figured out.
Oh, he did that after he made the shift in his diet?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that was a paleo row. He and the Missus, which is a hilarious story.
Mr. Ramirez, her husband, Serena Williams' husband, Ohanyan, is an investor. And by the way, I think he's the one that started.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm an investor in Row too.
You mean just based on your portfolio?
Yeah, you got enough stock. This shit's all in it.
I think he does sit on the board, though. I want to say someone said he sits on the board.
That would be a good exchange for the endorsement.
Once you come off of Ozempic, the hunger suppression is gone, and since the person never fixed what they eat, they simply start eating like crazy again.
Maybe.
I remember that from doing drugs in college. Ozempic is a brand. The GLP-1 is semaglutide. Your sponsor also sells GLP-1, probably tirzepatide. I think they do. I think Sarah has another one now too, even a newer one. Our entire medical establishment is focused on treating the symptoms and not the root cause. I wonder why. Yeah. Hey, this question. Okay, let's do one more. Greg, what's your thought on RFK wanting doctors to spend more time on nutrition in med school? Seems like to me it's a way to govern pharma food control over the narrative.
Yeah, that'll work out poorly.
Because they'll just get infiltrated then by...
Uh-huh. My friend Don took a year off from prosecuting in Santa Cruz County and moved to Sacramento, and his wife was a audiologist with clinics, and he wanted to stop quiet talking and bullshit testing and all this shit that these hearing aid companies would get lists from AARP of seniors and then knock on the door and and low talk them into hearing aids. You know?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? No, you can't hear me? Well, that's weird. It's talking pretty loud, you know? And leave with hearing aids. And they'd leave you with hearing aids. And so he wanted to regulate the practice some along the lines of his wife's incessant bitching throughout her career. And as it went through committees, his legislation is successful, got it approved. It's going through committee. They're going to make the vote. The hearing aid companies took over and basically amended this effort, and it ingrained every one of their bad behaviors, just made it kind of all official. But it led him to what he described as clinical depression, to think that his lifelong, took a year off of life prosecuting dangerous felons to do some good in another sphere, and it backfired. It would have been better off if he'd not gone out there. I think that's what you have to expect.
This is a great question. There's a parallel story to this. I remember Greg telling me about salt also. What is the role of sugar with regard to skin cancer? Is it similar to other cancers? Is the sun a carcinogen? I had heard that there's something in seed oils that if you don't eat seed oils, that basically you can get sunburn. I don't know if that's true, but basically there's something in seed oils that makes it so whatever the mechanisms are that allow your skin to be healthy or get retarded. Isn't there something like that with salt too? It really doesn't matter how much salt you eat if you have no sugar in your diet, but it's the mechanism of eating sugar that inhibits your ability to process large amounts of sugar, salt.
You won't release sodium with elevated insulin levels. The kidneys' control of sodium level is mediated by aldosterone, which is in turn inhibited by insulin. So when you have a low blood sugar, you can have salty pee. If your blood sugar is jacked up, you won't release this sodium. And so is the salt the problem with hypertension? Only if I have to accept your chronically elevated blood sugar as a baseline about which nothing can be done.
And have you heard anything about skin cancer in regards to seed oils or sugar that somehow but it's not a stretch to think that somehow eating too much sugar or too much seed oils would retard your ability to handle exposure to the sun?
I guess so. I would like to evaluate seed oils, and I think there's more than a little bit of theoretical, hypothetical, and in vitro reason to be suspicious of seed oils. I'm there. Any attempt to quantify or qualify that damage, I think, is impeded by the sugar problem.
When I went to that MetFix seminar, Pete Shaw basically got a standing ovation in his talk about seed oils. I had never heard it explained like that. It was fucking incredible. I was like, holy shit. I mean, he went deep. showing, you know, I think at the end, you know, that was a month ago. My memory's not the greatest, but at the end, basically, I think my understanding is that seed oils, there's something in there with cessation. Is that a word? Basically,
Yeah.
seed oil. When you eat seed oils, you'll never, you know, it inhibits your ability to get full. And he showed the biology and I guess the chemistry of it. It's worth going to the MetFix seminar just to hear that lecture. That lecture is crazy.
It's a good lecture.
Yeah.
And the work with the Japanese researchers have done and Kummer did and talked about in seed oils, it's powerful. It's powerful.
There's no need for them, right? Cutting them out. There's no harm in cutting them out.
There's no need for them in the diet.
No. There's no one. There's no, like, you know, we hear people argue that, like, yeah, you need sugar. You have to have sugar. The brain will stop working. You hear all this shit, but there's not even a feigning of someone saying you need seed oils. There's some wingnut somewhere.
Yeah, there would have to be.
I wanted to ask you this, pivoting to the affiliates. I was talking with Suze about this the other day, and I remember you not liking a best practices like seminar for affiliates, or a best practices telling affiliates to how to run their affiliates. And Susan was asking me, why was he against that? And I couldn't remember. And he said maybe he thinks it's a slippery slope. You know what I mean? You start taking advices from people and their bullshit advices. Did you recall what your apprehension with that was?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, let me just admit to it. It always comes down to me asking, what does this look like in practice? And I get a list of shit that, like, are you fucking kidding me? You know, someone paid for that. Remember that? Remember doing that with Khalifa?
Yeah. So you didn't see the value there. I mean, I don't think you were against other people doing it as much as
John Wellborn.
doing
John Wellborn ran a CrossFit gym, and their motto was "Go fuck yourself," written all goth-like on T-shirts. And you'd see these big-titted, braless beauties in the fucking Whole Foods in Newport Beach wearing these shirts. And I was like, I don't know how he gets away with it. And then he meets this Christian girl and has a kid, and you can get thrown out of his gym for cussing, and now everything's got God all over it, you know? And I'm like, hey, that's John.
Meaning no one would have told him to use those models, but he used them successfully? Is that what you... Because I remember those shirts were crazy.
Come to me with it, you know, with a shaved head and a swastika tattooed on your fucking forehead, and ask me if you can be a successful trainer. I'll tell you, I don't know, but I can envision your clients. I could probably find you some fucking people, you know?
Right.
I don't sit in that space. I can tell you for my own taste what I'm interested in, but do I want to codify this until we're all wearing the same fucking polo shirt and using the same lines and the same practices? My business wasn't improved when the accounting system came off of a number 2 pencil in a brown paper bag. I've seen a gal run a gym of 5,500 members with an index card file system. You know, if I've got a list of things that are important that stand above almost all of those things, I think that would be included. There may be some minor tension between Chris Cooper and I on this subject, you know?
You know, the more and more I talk to him, he's more of a, I mean, I shouldn't say more of, but a huge part of his thing is psychology. Basically, teaching people to believe in themselves and learn their worth. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you've been doing this 5 years. Are you charging enough?
There's been some some changes, I think, in his presentation, which I think is inevitable for anyone in this space doing the good work he's doing.
I don't burn for more than a day. No sunscreen for me. Man got by on the planet for millions of years with no sunscreen and no skin cancer. Mrs. Burns, SabbathEssentials.com, the stuff my wife uses. Seed oils are just unstable in the presence of light, heat, and oxygen, so they cause oxidative stress, which is a huge driver of cancer.
Yeah.
You don't like that?
No.
Matthew 5.
I don't want to be. I'm not going to be caught supporting seed oil. I mean, I was sharing Kummer shit while he was alive, and nobody really wanted to look at it. You know.
And what was his stuff?
He's done more in that against polyunsaturated fatty acids than anyone, and look him up. But he had a huge impact.
What's his first name?
Fred. Krummerow, I believe.
A German-born biochemist, longtime professor of comparative biosciences at the University of Illinois. Kummer was best known as an opponent of the use of artificial trans fats in processed foods, carrying out a 50-year campaign for a federal ban on the use of the substance in processed foods. He was one of the pioneers in establishing the connection between trans fats and heart disease, and he helped to cement the inclusion of trans fats into the nurses' health study. He also helped discover that it is oxidized cholesterol, oxsterol, rather than cholesterol that causes heart disease.
He got those things removed from the generally accepted as safe, and then turned around and after they got pulled off the list, then litigated single-handedly. An unprecedented single-handed impact.
He authored 460 journal articles over the course of his career. He published the first paper suggesting a connection between trans fats and heart disease in 1957. It took decades before the link between trans fat consumption and heart disease was fully accepted. Funny that they use that word, accepted. Kummer urged food companies to lower the amount of trans fats in foods laden with substances such as shortening and margarine. Do you remember when the fridge used to be? I used to have so much margarine in the fridge as a kid. Finally, in 2004, the American Heart Association began to warn about the health risks of trans fats. Wow. He died at the age of 94 in 2009.
And it was a deadline on a official ban of the trans fats in foods, and I don't think he lived long enough for the date to appear.
Yeah, he died in 2009. It was on June 16th, 2015. The FDA moved to eliminate artificial trans fats from the U.S. food supply.
There we go. And he knew that date was coming, was trying to live long enough to see it. But his legal maneuvers were brilliant on top of what he saw.
Around his 100th birthday, Kummer switched his focus to Parkinson's and Alzheimer's research rather than heart disease. He said, "I'm done with heart disease."
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's like my dad on climate change. He goes, "I'm done with that. I figured that out."
Yeah.
It's the sun.
Oh, he died. Sorry, he died in 2017. I thought he died in 2009. 2017 at the age of 102.
There
he was married for.
I thought he made it. I'd always heard he was 10 something.
He was married for 70 years.
I like this bio better. This is the one I remember.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know where I got 2009. Let me see what I misread there. Sorry. In 2009, at the age of 94, he filed for a petition with U.S. Food and Drug Administration for a federal ban on artificial trans. Okay. Wow. Did you meet him?
No, but
Oh.
was interested in it. We just didn't get around to it.
God, there's a link to scientist centarians. God, Wikipedia has so much shit. Hey, you know that there's already a petition. You know that guy who killed that girl in the subway in Charlotte?
Yeah.
I guess there's a wiki page for him already, and there's a petition to pull it off already. They don't want because they're saying it incites racism.
Yeah, the murder of her was removed as a Wikipedia entry, not him.
Oh, that's crazy.
It is. It is.
Mrs. Burns, SabbathEssentials.com. It's why I started a skincare business using primarily saturated and monosaturated fats. The vast majority of skincare is still seed oil dominant.
Okay.
Hey, did you see have you been following that story closely? I guess as he walks away, he goes, I killed that white girl, or I got that white girl. I can't believe Derek Chauvin is still in jail. I cannot fucking believe he has not been pardoned. It's fucking nuts. This is fucking nuts. What's this story?
Have you ever asked any of our doctor friends about the
George Floyd riots?
About Chauvin and Floyd and the unilateral pressure on the neck and stopping a artery or venous return unilaterally and any of that?
No, I should.
You should. And I talked with the doc named Will and the anesthesiologist, all friends of ours, and talked to them about what happens if you completely close one carotid artery or a vein, and the impossibility of being strangled while claiming you can't breathe. Verbally, you know?
How about Daniel Penny had to go to court over choking out a guy that was threatening to kill people on a subway car? Never said anything about the dude's color. I can't fucking believe I can't believe the hypocrisy in what we're witnessing. I've been watching so much CNN. And I haven't heard anyone on the right talk about it as a race issue. Like Fox never refers to it as a race issue, and yet CNN keeps saying that the right is race baiting. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
New York has, at the state and federal level, has given over to prosecuting where it's convinced it can get a conviction ahead of whether there's really any logic to a law having been broken. Do you get that?
No, say that one more time.
The state and federal authorities and the judicial officials, the state and federal judiciary in and around New York and DC will prosecute if they think that a guilty verdict would be likely, even if the charge doesn't make sense, isn't consistent with the law.
What?
Yeah. Trump's prosecution.
Oh.
Legal authorities don't like it. They have problems with statute of limitations. They have problems of equal protection and application of the law. There was a bunch of problems, and eventually they got overturned. You know, I mean, the Letitia James and that thing in the court there got stopped. It did in Florida.
So you're saying you're saying they will prosecute if they can think they can win, regardless if it's right or not. It's like scoring points in a basketball game. Like,
yes, Derek Chauvin was prosecuted because a conviction seemed likely.
Holy shit!
Yep,
they're open about that. That's like, God, there's some crazy shit I
I
want to
don't
show
know
you.
when I got Alan Dershowitz and Jonathan Turley and Wu, all law professors saying this is the law quoted here isn't the law that's been broken here, and then eventually that comes out and becomes at a higher court actually the case, and cases are dismissed or dropped or eliminated. Yeah, that's what was going on. Letitia James ran on I'm going to prosecute Trump.
Yeah.
And she got elected in that, and so she did. And she didn't need the law to do it. The law wasn't on her side.
God, it really irritates me every time someone calls him like a felon and they don't explain what his felonies are. It's absurd. It's like calling someone a sex offender because they got caught pissing behind a fucking Fuddruckers when they were drunk and they had their penis out. It's like, it's a fucking disservice to fucking everyone. Hey, I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if you saw how this guy was released. Have you seen this guy's fucking rap sheet who stabbed the girl? It's insane. Since 2011, he'd been arrested 14 times, Greg. He spent 6 years in jail, and he was waiting for a psych eval for his most recent thing. This lady on the bottom, I don't know what she is. I don't know if she's a judge or not, but she was never a lawyer. And the last time he was in court, he saw her. She was sitting on the bench, and she's an appointed judge, so she never even went to law school. She has no background. And when he went and saw her, she gave him a no cash bail, meaning he just had to sign that he would come back to court and that he would get a psych eval. And while he was out on that, he killed that Ukrainian girl. The irony, of course, is that Ukrainian girl has a huge Black Lives Matter poster in her room, and then a George Floyd memorial. But listen to this fucking tirade that Jesse Waters goes on. This is so scary right here.
Teresa Stokes, a Harris donor who doesn't even have a law degree, who just made a career criminal and a schizophrenic who beat his own sister when he was out on parole. Pinky promised that he'd behave. Ms. Stokes wasn't elected. She was nominated by the clerk. In Mecklenburg County, the sitting clerk is Alyssa Chin Gary. On her LinkedIn page, she calls herself a clerk and a DEI consultant and a racial equity organizer. And her life mission? Reparations.
We are here to honor them, to lift their names, and to continue that intergenerational work that we are required to do to eliminate structural racism.
Ms. Stokes was nominated by Judge Carla Archie. Judge Archie is friends with Eric Holder, Obama's wingman. And Judge Archie isn't just any judge. In 2019, she was the DEI champion of the year.
Oh.
Is this starting to make sense? Did a woman die because of DEI? Just a couple months ago, a guy shot 5 people on New Year's, and Judge Archie sentenced him to 1.5 years for shooting 5 people, 1.5 years. This is a DEI court, and they have blood on their hands. And if the people in robes are on the same side as the bad guys, that's suicide. This is Teresa Stokes.
There's all these pictures going around showing all of these people who are in this in the Charlotte, judicial system, and I don't see any white people. I don't even see any black men. All I see are black women. And I was thinking about it the other day, and just think, black women make up 6% of the population. This has nothing to do with race. But what are the odds? It's like fucking buying a lotto ticket. What are the odds that 8 of the 8 judges sitting in the courts there are all black women? It's fucking crazy. Where the fuck did you find these people? And then you find out that like 5 of the people sitting in the courts there were never even lawyers. They never even went to law school. They're just appointed.
If you could show me that blacks were being routinely thrown in jail for crimes they didn't commit, I think a system would be better where no black man is convicted.
Sure.
I'd rather murderers get away than innocent people be prosecuted for murder.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. And so I think this is the confusion they've created for themselves. I think that the from illegal wiretaps to stealing elections, I think all of that is justified in the left's head. I think they think they're fighting for something that is
Yeah.
they see it as justified.
2 years ago, every fucking person on the left had a Ukrainian bumper sticker on their car. Now a Ukrainian immigrant who ran from the war is killed.
I don't want to live in a system where we have a president that's of my liking, but not approved of by a majority of the population. I think there comes a point where, you know, and it's odd that these people talking democracy are fundamentally afraid of and bothered by free election. And then the irony for me is that I don't think that democracy is the highest kind of goal.
How can it be?
I take freedom and liberty over democracy.
Yeah, but you any day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you taught me that. Freedom of speech over everything.
Right. Yeah. Leave me, my shit, and my family alone. Let me congregate, travel, and accumulate wealth. And I don't really care who's in charge. I care who's in charge to protect those things. And the left has no interest in those things. And their interest in democracy is to vote people in that will take away your liberties.
Let me incite a little more.
Hey, how about Hamas? About Israel? Did they get the Hamas guy in Qatar?
I haven't. I don't know. I'll look that up in 1 second. Did you see what? I want to show you what happened in San Jose yesterday. Did you see this?
Mm-mm.
This is gonna blow you away. This is Kim Hung's jewelry store. This is fucking mind-boggling.
Damages totaling more than $50,000 to $100,000. They say when those suspects broke in and robbed the place, they knocked down their older relative who they say suffered a stroke. A car bulldozing into the Kim Hung jewelry store in Eastside San Jose on a Friday afternoon. At least 17 people stormed out of cars and smashed cases, taking jewelry and knocking over the family's business owner, an 88-year-old man.
The glass, it stick on the bottom is his feet, but he not feeling it.
The man's niece was nearby and rushed to the scene. She says shortly.
These fucking guys in broad fucking daylight. This is fucking right. This is 17 miles from us. This is just over the fucking hill. It's infuriating, isn't it? That's his fucking lifelong business. For sure, an immigrant. Fucking nuts, dude.
They catch any of them?
I haven't heard. I haven't heard. It's so sad. This is also, I don't know if you remember last year in the same week that I think like the mayor's home in LA was broken into and Adam Schiff's car was broken into in San Francisco. I don't know if you remember, but the mayor of San Jose was doing an interview on the street and he got accosted while doing an interview. He needed to pull out a gun. Yeah. A Mossberg Shockwave. Is that a shotgun?
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if you saw, did you see the article I sent you and Dave on what's happening in Santa Monica? I never thought it would happen there.
They're going broke.
Yeah, dude, their Nordstrom's closed last week. 70% of the businesses on the Santa Monica, by the Santa Monica is like the darling, for people who don't know, of Los Angeles.
Yeah, the promenade, the 4th Street promenade.
Yeah, their promenade, 70% of the buildings are vacant. Fucking LA's fucking collapsing right before our fucking eyes.
So Santa Cruz. Hey, there's an article that tourism's way down in Santa Cruz. Nothing but locals at all the eateries into town. And you know, it's funny. I'm a local and I won't go there.
Yeah, I mean, well, think about what happened to us the other day on 41st Street by the pizza place. Remember that?
No. Oh, yeah. That guy almost got shot.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to sit there with your gun in your waistband and watch someone making threatening looks and maneuvers and circling us and the kids. And you just...
Yeah, we were there with 9 kids and our wives. What did he think was going to happen?
I don't even want to make eye contact, but then when I see him doing 360s around our group, like, now I'm going to face you, you know?
I want to play one more video. Here's another take on the judicial system out there in Charlotte. This guy's is basically reiterating the same thing that Jesse Waters did.
Do you know the judge that released this guy didn't even go to law school? Yeah, not even a lawyer. Yeah, these magistrate judges that are making a decision to release these people without bail, yeah, they're not even lawyers. They didn't go to law school. They didn't pass the bar. They just got appointed to be judges. No training required. Oh, yeah, and that's the case in states like North Carolina, South Carolina, West Virginia, Texas, Arizona. They don't even have to be lawyers. They can be judges. They don't have to go to law school. They don't have to pass the bar. However, they sit in judgment over people who did. How the fuck is this a thing? How the fuck do we have judges who didn't even study the law? How did this ever become a thing?
It's nuts. It's nuts. Trump's got a lot of work to do. You think Newsom has a chance? You think? Oh, someone told me the other day that Mondani's not going to win. Mamdani, what do you think? I kind of want him to win. I feel like if Cuomo wins,
I would bet with Homer's guess, and then our friend Jethro rather.
And what was his take?
I don't. He's a New York cop and is astute and kind of sees the good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't claim to be able to take the pulse of New Yorkers.
Wow, if this is true, this is crazy.
Oh, look at that.
Charlotte judge owns mental health facility.
I believe that. That's not a stretch for me. I would expect it to be more like in her husband's name, right?
Yeah. This is from go ahead.
Mike and Matt get here this evening, and Friday morning early we leave.
Judge Teresa Stokes, I can't wait to see you. Judge Teresa Stokes has attracted scrutiny on social media after it emerged that she presides over a previous case involving DeCarlos Brown Jr. months before he was accused of the murder. Brown, 34, has been charged with the murder of 23-year-old Irina, who was stabbed in Charlotte. A record show that Brown has been arrested 14 times in over a decade, diagnosed with schizophrenia. The context, let me see if by the way, did you see the footage after she was stabbed? You don't see any blood, and she's just sitting there in shock. Yeah. She also has been linked to a charity that provides mental health and addiction support by social media users. The Newsweek was unable to verify these claims. Man, can you imagine being arrested 14 fucking times in 10 years, and he was fucking in jail for 6 of those years, so he didn't even everyone is pleading to make it a 2-person race, Mamdani and Cuomo.
And Jethro, in that case, does Cuomo win?
The thing with Cuomo is though he'll just keep the status quo and they'll keep circling the bowl slowly.
Hey,
If Mamdani wins, I feel like they start really going in free fall.
You don't want to be able to not pick between bad and worse.
I mean, I almost want to expedite the issue.
My father and his ilk's dislike of Romney brought us Obama. Is Romney the perfect candidate? Far from it. Would he have been as bad as Obama? I can't imagine it.
Trump offered an ambassadorship for one of them to drop out. I heard both Eric Adams and the Republican guy interviewed, and they said that's absolutely false.
It's funny though. I don't think Curtis is going to drop out.
That's the angel. What's his?
Yeah.
Man.
Okay, I gotta go.
All right, love you. Thanks for all the sugar talk.
Yeah, I'll see you soon.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. No,
Right.
Friday. See you Friday.
Yeah, morning.
Okay, lunch at Cilantro's.
Of course.
All right, perfect. Friday's a great day. All right, talk to you later, buddy. Love you.
Bye, pal. Love you.
Greg Glassman, every Wednesday. Guardian Angels. Thank you. God, there's so much crazy shit in the news right now. I wanted to ask Greg about all the German candidates who are dying. 16 people running for office in Germany have died during the elections. But it also says 20,000 people are running, which is a shitload of people. Play this reel for you guys. This is a pretty good reel. This is Don Lemon on the streets of Baltimore asking people if they want the National Guard. If you don't know Baltimore, Baltimore is like, it's not even like a real city. It is beyond a shithole. It is a really, really rundown. It's like a movie set, ghetto movie set. It's wild. Okay, here we go.
If Donald Trump can hear this, you tell Donald Trump that everybody in Baltimore and as Black people, we don't hate them.
Nobody's favorite, Don Lemon, asked the citizens of Baltimore if they'd like to see President Trump send National Guard troops to help reclaim their city from crime. And I believe he got more than he bargained for.
Should the president send armed troops here?
Yeah, I think it would be a good deal.
You do?
Yeah.
All right. What about you, sir? President send armed troops here? Yes. You think so? Thank you very much. The president sent armed troops here to Baltimore?
Yeah, because I'm a troop.
The president wants to send troops to Maryland, to Baltimore. What do you think?
I mean, I think it would help. My husband was murdered 2 years ago, and nothing was ever done.
Murder where? At home?
Right out in front of our house.
Sorry.
It was a carjacking gone wrong, and they shot him in his head. Killed him instantly. So, but again, our lovely mayor didn't do nothing.
Did they ever find the perpetrator?
Nope.
So you want to see it?
Yes, I want justice.
You want justice, and you would like to see the troops here in the National Guard?
Yes.
It's getting out of hand, man. All these killings all the time. You know, the murder rates going higher and higher. Like, send the troops to straighten everything out. You know what I mean? And then, like, you know, make Baltimore great again.
So you're in favor of sending armed troops here to help?
I mean, if that's what y'all need to do, go for it. It's like survival of the fitness around here.
I think it'll be a good idea. Why so? Maybe we can clean up some of these crime-ridden neighborhoods. Yeah. You know? Is the crime bad? Very bad. Atrocious. I hear a common theme from people saying the kids. You
Starts at home. The kids of today. You remember the kids of yesterday when you couldn't get on the back of the bus? The kids of the day would have burned the buses up and flipped them over. If Donald Trump can hear this.
Crazy. Man, the white liberals, they fucking hate black people. They fucking hate black people. Fucking nuts. I don't think any of those people vote. That's just my judgment. But if I had to bet, I'd say those people don't vote, unfortunately. This one, I don't even know how you this one, good luck processing this. Sit back, take a deep breath, and get your head wrapped around this. The girl on the left in the yellow is a first grade teacher, and the lady on the right is I think the assistant principal, the vice principal of the elementary school. All right, here we go. Listen up carefully.
Finally going to trial. Abby Werner, the first grade teacher who was shot in the chest by her 6-year-old student. But the person sitting in the defendant's seat might shock you. Okay, if you aren't familiar with this case, on January 6, 2023, first grade teacher Abby Werner was giving a reading lesson to her class at Rich Neck Elementary School. Out of nowhere, a 6-year-old boy pulls out a Taurus 9mm handgun, points it at Abby, and fires off a shot into his teacher. The bullet passed through her hand, which she had instinctively put out to protect herself, and lodged into her chest. The 6-year-old student then said to his classmates, "I shot the bitch dead."
A 6-year-old said, "I shot the bitch dead." You think that's enough? But we haven't even got to the good part of the story yet. You're not even gonna. You are not gonna believe this story.
I did it. I got my mom's gun last night. Come to find out, the assistant principal, Ebony Parker, had been warned 3 times that day the kid had a gun and chose to do nothing with that information. At 11:15 that morning, Abby herself goes into Parker's office and says she heard a rumor that the boy had a gun. At 12:30, a different teacher went to Parker and said she thinks the gun is in the kid's pocket. What did Parker do? She laughed it off, saying a gun can't fit in a kid's pocket. At 1 p.m., a different teacher comes into Parker's office and says that she has a child in tears because the boy showed her the gun at recess and said he would shoot her if she told anyone. What did Parker do with this information? She told the teacher to wait it out because it was almost the end of the day. Less than an hour after that conversation, Abby Werner is shot in the chest. The jury trial for Werner's $40 million lawsuit against Ebony Parker is set to start at the end of October. You want to hear some complete bullshit? Werner initially sued the school district, but the district was dismissed from the case because the Virginia Supreme Court ruled that a school board has immunity against any personal injury lawsuits. Guess who is
The vice principal was warned at 11:15 there's a kid with a gun. At 12:30 there's a kid with a gun. At 1 p.m. that there's a kid with a gun. By the way, that's the reason why they say Santa Monica is falling apart. One of the reasons why is they have an after school program. The city runs an after school program, and 200 kids were molested in the after school program, and they were fined in the lawsuit they lost. They owe $240 million to the parents. The kids' after school program had a child molester in it. Yeah, that part is hard to believe that the principal blew off a gun warning once, let alone 3 times. It's fucking the vice principal Sturwood, the vice principal should be charged with accessory to murder. 6-year-old should be charged with attempted murder. Same with the parent of that 6-year-old. These stories. was looking at some school district numbers in Florida. I want to say it was Broward County, and their attendance this year is down 3.4% since last year. Yeah, no wonder people aren't sending their kids to school. If you want to see some crazy shit, you want to see who's working in your schools, if you want to see why you shouldn't send your kids to school, go look up PhD demographics and look and see who's getting the PhDs and where they're going to work. Look at their politics, their sex. Look at it all. It's crazy. It is nuts. Absolutely nuts. For all you Biden lovers, I have this little gem for you. For all you Kamala lovers, I don't know where you draw the line. You're so worried about Epstein.
So you're telling this committee that the Biden administration, while they were letting all of these unaccompanied minors into the country, and as we've talked about today, they weren't keeping track of them, they issued these kids a hotline that they could call if they had trouble with the sponsor family that they were put with. And you're saying that 65,000 calls to this hotline designated to protect these kids went unanswered? Is that what you're telling this committee?
Yes, sir.
It's funny every time I hear that number, that there were like 365 unaccompanied minors who came into the country during the Biden administration. I can't believe it because I can't get my head wrapped around it. I'm always like, God, I don't know if I believe that. God, I don't know if I believe that. But when you hear that there's 65,000 calls to a hotline, let's say every minor called just 5 times. Let's do that. So it's 12,000 minors were calling. And like, yo, you put me in a home and shit is fucked up. Let's say only half of those were legit. Let's say only 6,000 of them were legit. Hey, something's fucking wrong. Think about all the kids that lost the phone number who wanted to call. Probably 10x that, right? 650,000 lost it. We're just going to be honest. This story gets worse too. You haven't heard the worst part. Not only were they placing kids who came across the border illegally without their parents into unvetted homes, 65,000 of them, the ones who somehow kept the phone number and were able to get access to a phone, called and said, hey, something's fucked up at this house.
Wow. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Do you know how many staffers the administration assigned to answering these phones and helping these kids?
One
staffer? Any idea how many hours a day this staffer was working?
No.
Maybe that's why there were 65,000 calls that weren't answered from these little kids, huh? Unbelievable. So
one fucking person with the phones, you have 365,000 unaccompanied minors cross the border and there's one person on the hotline? It's unfathomable. People voted for Kamala. By the way, that was the great Eli Crane. He's been on the show several times. Any feedback for me on yesterday's WTF show I did on Will Morad? You guys have any feedback for me? Any feedback? I don't know. I don't often ask for feedback. I don't even know if I'm asking for it. I'm just curious. I personally thought it was very tempered, well balanced, with the juxtaposition of how it should be promoted, talking about the Crash Crucible. Great show last night, 10 out of 10. Passionate. You're on another level. These are all positive. Any constructive criticism? Fuck it. Any criticism? Constructive or not? Pat Lang, do you have any constructive criticism for me? Patty? I should apologize to Joe L. He asked a question. I said, that's a dumb question. He's saying, do you not have to be passionate or loud or whatever he asked? And I said it was a dumb question. And it's, in hindsight, last night I was thinking, I was like that, or maybe this morning I was thinking that really wasn't a dumb question. You know, Dave doesn't come on here all passionate and fired up. And yet we hang on his every word. Jethro, I agree with you, Sevon. You were brilliant as usual. Thank you, Jethro. Will should talk about the WTF like I talk about my gym. I light up and love to talk about it. He ain't. I'm highly critical, but you've red pilled me on machines and comps. What the fuck? Yeah, sorry. Their failure is all of our failures. You have to realize that. Their failure is all of our failures. We don't... And I'm not saying that you shouldn't try something new, but I used to follow the arm wrestling scene like crazy. And the people who arm wrestle are so passionate about the sport, and they put so much time and effort into arm wrestling, and they travel the globe arm wrestling, showing up at these fucking Indian casinos or wherever will take them to have an arm wrestling tournament where 100 men and 20 women show up to grab each other's sweaty hands and yank on them, and referees show up. And for 50 years now, the sport's been trying to get big. And every once in a while, there'll be some guy who's filthy rich, who drives a Ferrari, who gets into arm wrestling, and he'll put up $1 million to start a league, and it'll last like a year or two and then collapse. I wonder if the big bald guy would come on. I thought Pedro did a great. The only reason why I would have him on is to meet him, because I liked him. I thought Pedro and him were great. I don't think there's much more to uncover there. Pedro asks harder questions than I ask anyway. He's either got bigger balls or he's oblivious to the dance. He just gets at it. And we're not created equal. He can get away with asking questions that I cannot ask. At least that's my take on it. Mr. Scott Schweitzer, I think you nailed it. They assume everyone gets it, but no one has made it make sense anywhere. A little harsh saying Will took fentanyl, but entertaining. I understand. That's supposed to be a joke. It's a joke. Like, I have in my defense, in my hyper defensiveness of defending myself. I'm a wannabe comedian, so I just thought it was funny. The Wilmore Fitness League should send you and spin a check for actually getting them exposure. There's more passion in a graveyard than Will showed. That guy and Kate seem primed to jump ship. That guy and Kate. I don't know which guy or who Kate is. Is Kate the big head pretty girl? Sevon, you met Jason in Arizona at Legends. Okay. The guys that I met who ran Legends were good guys. Mr. Lange. Hey, Pat. Good to have you back. Hey, why are you so upset about pick 6? I was told you don't like them. Also, great job banning that Lang loser. I love making fun of his name. Nice try, Patty. I just think why not just say interception and touchdown? I just don't like pick 6. It's just, I feel like it alienates me. What can Pedro ask that you can't? I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but there's times when he's asking questions, I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe he asked that. Like, hey, I would have like, I'm like 5 dates away before I try to kiss you. Pedro's like sticking his tongue in the mouth and got the hand in the panties, and like he just goes for it. Yesterday's morning guest, was the God. It's hard to say this, but she truly is. This Katie Burris chick is there's like some Usain Bolt world record, Charlie Lawrence, but better because she's done something with her brain that's like, she's done something with her brain that's like, I still can't get my fucking head. Yeah, she's supernatural. I can't fucking get my head around it. Like, forget all the, oh, I feel sorry for the adaptive athlete. Oh, she's deaf. It's not like that, even in the tiniest bit. It's like, you ever seen like one of those fucking Indian kids do the spelling bee and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, it transcends the fact that they're spelling words. You're just like, or like chess masters, or there's just something she's done through hard work and discipline and attentiveness. It's like, I'm so impressed by the level of awareness. Like, the most fascinating part of Charlie Lawrence to me is that Charlie stays conscious the entire race. So when you're running a 50-mile world record, you have to be conscious the whole time if you want to set the world record. And that part, like, I pride myself so much on being just fucking present, either knowing what's going on inside or outside at all times. And I don't know if I could do what she did. I don't know. I talked to someone, a deaf guy DM me and said, hey, it's like, that's not like normal. Like, she is world class at what she does. That they're like, she has no peer. Basically, he was saying like, I can do some of that shit, but that shit she does is like nuts. Yeah, first thing I thought was, how is she single? I know, I was tripping that she was single. Maybe there's something we don't know about her. You know what I mean? Maybe she is like, maybe she's the kind of girl, like, you move the fucking salt on the table and she fucking freaks out. Like, maybe she's a nagger. I don't fucking know. But if I meet her and I have means to raise a kid, I meet her, I get her pregnant and have her start raising the family. Like, what the fuck? She's due. Is this the girl from yesterday, the new favorite over DBE? I don't know if I'd put her over DBE. I love myself some Danielle Brandon, but for different reasons. I mean, DBE is an outdoor dog. This is an indoor dog. We'll find Vindicate. We'll find out how cool Katie Burris is if she wears the apparel this weekend. Yeah. Nuts. I wanted to dig in with her on some shit. I wanted to talk to her about the COVID stuff and the masks and all that, but I kind of like, for instance, okay, there's thing, like, if Pedro wanted to know that stuff on the first interview, he would have done that. And he can get away with it because of his accent and his demeanor and his he's not playing all this other stuff. There's some people who think half the country thinks it's okay that 6-year-old shot the teacher. And I put myself out on the line, really put myself out way out on a limb to say that I don't think that's cool. Yeah, Katie Burris. Katie Burris, Bures. Yeah, you got to follow her on Instagram. I don't know if there are sign language accents, but one of the things I wanted to get into is she says there's different sign languages for different languages. Like there's Spanish sign language and Ukrainian sign language. That part was tripping me out. I was trying to understand why that would be. Why you would think sign language is just international. Like this means motorcycle. Leaning over that way means taking a shit. You know what I mean? This means I love you. This means I love myself. Yeah, she's she's good. I'm leaving at 9:40 for a haircut. Oh shit. You don't need a haircut. Is that the right thing to say to my wife? She just told me she's leaving at 9:40 to get a haircut. I said, you don't need a haircut. Oh shit. Wow. This story just keeps giving and giving and giving. Irina Zorutuska, BLM supporter. It's always important to say that. BLM supporter and George Floyd sympathizer. Because you have to remember, I had this discussion with someone the other day. We'll get into it in a second. Let me finish this. A killer has half-brother named Stacy Dijon. Oh, I love Dijon mustard. Has a half-brother named Stacy Dijon Brown, who shot and killed a 65-year-old white woman who shot and killed a 65-year-old white woman in the face while he was walking home from work in 2012, then used the Charlotte light rail system to flee the scene. Oh, so his half-brother was a killer too. Crazy. Luc Dijon. He will be at the Crash Crucible. The greatest walking and living embodiment of what CrossFit is. Doing main site. Love the guy. Can you imagine shooting a 65-year-old woman? Here's the deal. People are presenting this girl like she's an angel. Right? Because she was stabbed and killed. I was watching this right-wing guy fucking go off about this angel was killed. Now, if she's an angel, then I don't know what the killer's name is, but then he's an angel too. 99% of the people we know and deal with every day, including ourselves, are reacting to sensations and thoughts unconsciously. I have a sensation. I scratch my forehead. Someone's like, Sevi, why'd you scratch your forehead? I'm like, fuck, I don't know. You're fasting. You walk by the kitchen counter and you put a carrot in your mouth and like you're halfway done chewing it and you're like, oh shit, I'm fasting today. You don't even know why you put the carrot in your mouth. You want to fast. You start fasting. It's 2:00 and you're like, fuck it. You have a thought and you make up some fucking excuse of why you're going to break your fast. You're not going to fast all day. So you eat. It's just thoughts and reacting to thoughts. Someone cuts you off. You flip them off. You don't even make the fucking conscious decision to flip them off. All of a sudden, like you have a moment of clarity and you see yourself flipping the person off and you're like, fuck, I have my kids in the car. Why'd I do that? We're all susceptible. That guy just had a thought and reacted to it and stabbed her. We're not like we're not all so different from each other, man. We're not all so different from each other. By the way, by no means am I justifying it. Fuck this guy, needs to be taken off the street and never fucking let out again. But man, she was reacting to some sort of thoughts, and she thought it was cool to have a big Black Lives Matter poster in her bedroom, only hurting black people, and then supporting George Floyd, only hurting black people. Stevie, how is supporting George Floyd hurting black people? Why would you elevate a sex offender, a guy who put a gun on a pregnant woman's stomach, a guy who drives around on the streets high on fentanyl, a counterfeiter, a pornographer, as the fucking poster child for black men? Why would you elevate that when there's all these other fucking amazing fucking black men that we could have elevated? And then she was stabbed by a black dude who fit the profile of who she elevated, who was her hero. She was brought to an encounter with her hero. Isn't her murder just a story we tell ourselves? Can't we change the story and make it go away? Sure, yeah, you could tell yourself that. Sure, you can tell yourself the story, whatever story you want. Yeah, of course, Clock. You think you're being clever? You could tell yourself that she sent her to heaven. How's that? What does a pornographer mean? Go to YouPorn or Pornhub and type in George Floyd, and you'll see what a pornographer is. You can tell yourself whatever story you want, Clock. You go for it. Anyway, if you're gonna keep it real everywhere. Don't pick and choose where you're keeping it real. That's my point. Trim, yes. You don't need a hair. I told my wife you don't need a haircut. She says she's getting a trim. Canon has a new camera. I'm talking about it with a friend right now. That's why I got distracted. Camera is 3,500. Lens is 35,000. It's fucked up. Canon has this new camera out that's absolutely insane. It's a $3,500 camera. It shoots in 7K. But if you want to get the good lens for it, it's 35 grand. Type 1 lifting, the Canon camera is dope. Yeah. It's I have to imagine it's absolutely amazing. Did you see that lens that they have for it? It's like an 11-55 servo lens. It is sick. It is sick. Sevon, are aliens real, Mr. Sevon? Yeah, but Pat, I see them all the time in my neighborhood. I see aliens all the time. Latino aliens. My gardener. God bless his soul. All right. Very soon, I'm headed to Southern California. We will be doing Kill Taylor at the Biomax Peptides. New, it's not headquarters, but it's the first of many wellness centers they've made That thing's going to be hugely successful. Newport Beach is a hotbed for professional athletes. Every time you go there, you see one. They got the red light therapy, the cold water you dunk in, the hot room, IV drips, the whole fucking thing. Xbox. Did you see Rogan and Brian Callahan going at it? Yeah, I did. That was cool. I did see that. Man, Rogan's come so far. Rogan needs to have, I'm trying to get Forrest Ma ready on. He needs to have Forrest Ma ready on the podcast. Forrest Ma ready wrote the book Moth and the Iron Lung. He's got a shitload of great books. But once you see the pattern for how these things are rolled out, it's identical for all of them. All these drugs. Welcome back, Pat. Yep. I heard someone say earlier they miss David. I miss David too. Sebi, what about primetime Alex Stein? Yeah, he's been getting at it too. I should have him back on. I think the last time I tried to have him on, I texted him like 4 times and didn't get a response. I think he fell through the cracks. All right. Love you guys. I will see you. What's today? Garbage Day, Wednesday. Do I have a guest on tomorrow morning? I hope I do because I blew my load with all my clips. Nope. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow we have Amy West on. Dr. Amy West. Oh, it's going to be good. She has a new publication out talking about the efficacy of CrossFit. All right. Talk to you guys soon. I had a great time today. Thanks for hanging out with me after Greg left. Talk to you guys soon.